All right. Now, please tell me you hear me. 'Cause I don't really know what else to do. Video is. Oh my. Ah, yeah, wait. I see somebody saying audio. You hear me? Yes, you hear me. Finally. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe I should just like not put this on like 50 minutes in advance because I was in the studio like 50 minutes before the thing went live, and apparently it does not like that. Um, but so here we go. 3 minutes left of the introduction. Yeah, I don't know about the video quality. Maybe I should really like connect my internet wire someday when I'm doing this because I'm always on the Wi-Fi, and I feel like the Wi-Fi connection is very often not that high. So, ahoy there, Tufty. You are not sharing your camera mic. I was, so that's the annoying thing because on my screen everything looked normal, and also when I was testing the audio, the I could see the bar moving, so it was registering my sound, but somehow it wasn't casting it. Hello, Nadim. Hey, I'm glad I finally got the sprints again after some time. You were more than welcome, Daniela. Black screen of doom, and then I was like, "What?" I saw that comment, and I was like, "Wait, black screen? What? You're not supposed to wait." Hello, Larissa. There were a few messages appearing on screen for a bit there. I mean, at least you missed the part in which I was like, "Hey, hello. I don't think anybody's here. I hope somebody shows up." Hello, darkness, my old friends. Love that song. Sometimes I think I can still hear her voice. And then you also missed the part in which I asked you whether your name was Sarah, because I feel like that is your name, but I wasn't entirely sure anymore. White progress bar that keeps juddering on the feeds. Video has appeared, but no audio. Just giving you a live rendition again, but I won't go through. I won't read out all these comments. You guys were all there for it. Me going like, oh, tell me something. Yes. So yesterday I was like super exhausted. Like I have this. That's what I was saying when I realized what's this happening. I have this like sport watch now, and like it kind of tells me my body battery, so to speak, starting out from 100. And I started that day with a very low body battery because I basically had a very crappy night's sleep, and so I went running with low body battery, and by the time that my workday was over I had like almost no body battery left. And I can now say that the body battery sort of like metric is quite accurate. Like when it gets down to just like uh, when it goes down under 20%, I do feel super tired. So I was like, most Thursdays I already kind of struggle with sleep by the end of the sprints. If I'm already feeling like that before the sprint starts, I'm not going to do them. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm just going through this really, really quickly. Yes, talk among themselves. Yeah, indeed. That might be the same again because it is back down to one bar just. Yeah. The surprise of everybody being like, wow, it's back. Hear me, yay. Back to normal. Nice. I don't think it's your headphones. I have I changed the setting. No, that's the camera, audio. Wow, that was loud. Sorry.
Do you still hear me? Because maybe I shouldn't have changed these settings because that's a dangerous thing to do, of course. When I hate this thing. The first bar is always like so. I just need to go computer audio. So you still heard me, I hope, right? Even when I changed. Yeah, okay. I'm still gonna go through these comments a little bit because we missed some time there. So we're running over a bit. What are sprints without technical difficulties? Yeah, it had been a while. Sometimes in your streams, your video pauses, but your audio remains consistent. The juddering happens often, so I never bothered to mention it, but it seems topical right now. Yeah, it's been like it always. I kind of maybe have to look if I can have like uh, an enhancer. That's not really the word for it, to make the because the Wi-Fi, it isn't even that far from here, the connection, but maybe I need to put one here as well so that I have a stronger signal over here. Hello, Cleo and chat. Hello, chat. Yeah, journaling at the moment. Hello, Elena. Not sure if I'll actually read anything this evening, but I'm home alone, so here for the company. Nice. Yay! I remembered that. Third book today. Wow, you're on a roll already. Like a very helpful app. Did I say anything about it? Ah, yeah, on the smartwatch, the sport watch. Is there any risk of believing some magic number magics when it's a wee bit bogus? Yeah, I mean, I was very eager to see what happens when it gets to like zero, but I have not managed to be awake at the point at which it says zero. So yeah, okay, yeah, everything better now. It's good. Yes, but it sounds further away. It should sound better now. It's fun watching the body battery drain like bananas when I'm in the office. And the Wi-Fi in my house only covers the back half of the house. On the front half, it's very weak indeed. I need to stand by the door into the room. Yeah, on my phone, I don't really notice it, but yeah, on stream, I mentioned like I feel like in the beginning it was always better, but now for like months already at this point in time, it's always down to like the lowest bar, and I'm like, hello. Why are you not giving me better connection? But I do have, I think there's an internet wire under my TV over there. So it may, or maybe that's inside my TV because it's a smart TV. Hmm. Reading The Justice of Kings, which I hear is very popular. Well, it's my first book in 3 weeks, listening to Any Other City by Hazel Jane Plants. I don't know how to pronounce that. Which watch do you have? I have a Garmin and it actually stops at 5 and doesn't go lower. I've been awake many times to witness it. Yeah, I have a Garmin as well. I have not managed to get to the 5 neither. But so it never goes under that. Probably it's like, yeah, if you get to 0, then you're dead. So it won't go to 0. Hello, Marlene. Going to read Amari and the Great Game. Nice. So, caught up to the chat. We are finally going to start the timer again. So, see you guys in 40 minutes. Enjoy that first sprint. And then I'll actually talk about the book because now you'll actually hear me. Hello, welcome back. So, what I was going to talk about is the book that I'm currently reading, which is In Ascension by Martin McInnes. This is the first book that I'm reading for the Booker Prize project. So, I am going to be reading a few books for the Booker Prize. I had a video come out like somewhere in the beginning of August in which I reacted to the long list and chose some books that I want to read. And so this is the first one that I'll be tackling. It's the longest one that I have to tackle. It's like just under 500 pages still, though. And it is sci fi. And as far as I'm aware, it's kind of taking sci fi elements and applying them to the deep sea, which I can find understandable. There's very weird stuff living in the deep sea. But so far I'm really enjoying it. I find the writing style works really well for me. So I'm hoping that I'll just have a really good time with this one, because this is the one on the long list that I kind of have like the best feeling about being one for me. So I was a little bit distracted during this sprint because of the internet situation. So I did try to go and unplug the internet cable from my TV. However, the cable is not long enough for me to attach it to this laptop. And then I also checked the internet cable that's against that wall, but that also isn't long enough for me to attach it here. So maybe it is as easy as just like going to buy a longer internet cable and then for sprints attaching that one in order to be able to have like the internet through the cable rather than through the Wi-Fi when I'm sprinting with you guys. But so I was here, I think, reading Empire of the Vampire. Um, Whenever I see that, I just want to say like Empire of the Vampire, the way that like Andrew does it in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. At Tufty, I liked it so far, but I'm only on chapter 5. See, I was already indifferent in chapter 5. So I think if you're liking it now, then like you're definitely going to get further than me in any case. Maybe you'll still have something towards the end because of course I haven't read the entire thing, so I have no idea how it's going to evolve, but at least you already have like more of an interest in it than I do. Like it's not like I hated it or anything like that. It was just like I really didn't care all that much, and then it's kind of chore to kind of keep going through it. Yeah, I think it looks thicker than it actually is because it is like just under 500 pages. It is like 496 or whatever. I guess with all of these empty pages at the end, it is 500 pages long. So it's not like excessively long compared to most of the fantasies that I read. I've made an ate dinner, book mail arrived, and crocheted my sweater. What arrived? I finished my chapter a day in Algorithms to Live By. Is that a nonfiction? Listened to a podcast, made myself a yummy smoothie, and started cooking dinner. Enjoy! Had dinner and read 5% of Amari and the Great Game. Finished my dinner, ate a lot of food. Nice. I was kind of debating still going to the supermarket before sprints to kind of try and get myself some crisps because I like to have them on Friday, and like normally I get them from the swimming pool, but today I didn't go swimming, so I didn't have any. But like I'll have some tomorrow evening. I'll go to the supermarket tomorrow. 34 pages and 100 emails done. Wow. I made some dinner, a mix of garden veggies and some curry paste on a bed of rice. I chopped up a few chilies and whoa, they were spicy. And I had to leave the kitchen to cough and blow my nose. Oh well. I bought cables for it and it really helps. Yeah. I'm on chapter 6 of The Justice of Kings, so I'm approaching the chapter 8 to 10 DNF point. I mean, really, the DNF is just because I got to chapter 8.5 and I still didn't care. And like, I got to like 8.5, fell asleep in the middle of that chapter, and then like I switched the book because it was intended for my magical readathon for the prompt of reading a court or royal book, but I was like, there's no way I can finish this still in August for a magical readathon, so I changed it for a graphic novel called The Prince and the Dressmaker. And then when I was like through with my magical readathon TBR yesterday evening, and I could like start a September book, I was like, I'm just so much more excited to pick something up off of my September TBR than to like force myself to continue on with the Justice of Kings. So I decided, like, you know what? It's just not for me. Let's just let it be, let it go. Made my meal plan for next week and reheated some leftovers for dinner. Watched some of Denise's new video. Lovely. The Resurrectionist arrived. It's a mad scientist book. Lovely. Definitely still into the Justice of King at this point. My hammock is out, so I'll be heading back there in 15 minutes. Oh, okay, good weather in the UK. Because here it's been raining like crazy most of the day. Like, I was the only person at work who arrived on the bicycle. Like, like I've said it in the past few weeks of sprints, like there's like huge construction work happening around my workplace at the moment. So like past weeks there was so many bicycles, but this week it has been better, so a lot more people have been coming by car regardless this week. But like, yet today I arrived, I was like, wait, I'm the only person here by bicycle. But yeah, it was raining the entire morning. I also had rain the entire time, the entire 20 minutes that I was driving to work, so I also had to change my pants when I arrived. I did bring spare pants with me, luckily. But so I was like, okay, I'm the only one who braved it. But luckily, like around 2 or so, the rain stopped, and so when I went home at like 4:30, it was still fine, and like at 5:30, it was supposed to start again. But I don't actually see rain at the moment. I am going to mute myself to do that. um, but so yeah, it's been quite bad weather here today. I listened to one chapter of The Fires of Heaven, Wheel of Time number 5, while playing Paint by Number on my tablet. Thanks, Lena, for watching our video. Forgot today was the start of spooky season. Nice. It's a nonfiction about how you can use computer algorithms in everyday life. Fun but slightly dense, so I'm letting one chapter sink in each day. It's lovely. I'm supposed to be reading War and Peace every day, but in August I have not read a single chapter of War and Peace. So September needs to be catch up time again for War and Peace. I did a lot of catching up to War and Peace in July and in June maybe as well already. So yeah, need to get back on speed with that. I love having leftovers in the fridge. It makes making dinner on later days so much easier. Yeah, I always cook like for 2 days. So today as well was like my chill day. Didn't have to do any sort of preparations. Everything was made because it was like a salad even at this time, like a noodle salad. So in principle, I could have kept like part of it to the side and warmed that up, but it was fine to eat it cold as well. So in September or October, I'm planning to read all of Dan Brown's books. I've heard many good and bad reviews of his books. Like, just go in with certain expectations, I guess. Like, it's not going to be like literary masterpieces or anything like that, but they are fun books to read. And what I particularly enjoy about them is like, it kind of makes me want to go to the place in which they're set. And that actually also had like an impact on which ones I enjoy the most, because I think it's like Inferno, I think, is taking place in Spain. And so I've been to some of those locations, and then I didn't care as much about that particular book when it came to those places. Like, even though sometimes it actually works better, where you're like, you can imagine the book better if you've been to those locations. But I really enjoyed it in the first few books that I read of his, where it was more like set in Italy, for example, that I would just be like, oh, I want to go there and I want to see these places for myself. Weather has been overcast today, but the sun came out in the later part of the afternoon. It's nice enough for the hammock, but we're up for a week of fabulous. Yeah, but we as well, apparently. I hope that the predictions are true, mainly for my colleagues, because I have two colleagues that are going on like a huge bike ride on Sunday. And so if the weather is not going to be great, that's going to be really shitty for them. But I personally am really in like the autumn mood, even though I always resent people who like on the 1st of September are like, it's finally fall. I'm like, no, it's only fall at the end of September. But now this year, I'm really feeling that fall mood. So yesterday, I also started a rewatch of Gilmore Girls. I just prefer being outside rather than in, and I have an office job, so when I clock off outdoors. Yeah, I do love being in the outdoors, but I don't really have that sort of like tendency. I guess I'm always just like, oh, but it'll be cold, so I'll have to like take stuff with me. And actually, like now, the fact that my apartment is still like very warm, that when I get back in here, like I can just sit around in my t-shirt and it's perfectly okay because the temperature is still so warm. I just revealed my September TBR and I'm super mega plus excited about getting to it. I still need to film my September TBR, still need to film my July and August wrap up. There's so many things that I still need to film. But I still have 75% of the match ship and 90% of the Justice of Kings. Well, I finished Ship of Destiny last week and I loved and hated it. I hated it in parts for reasons that I was supposed to hate it for, but I definitely felt very invested in that. Every monthly TBR I make lately has been utterly overambitious. Apart from what was that thing in July, the reading thing, you know? Yeah, I think I know. Yeah, my September TBR is also like impossible. Like the page count for it is bigger than the page count that I've achieved in July and August, and both July and August have been really like productive reading months for me. So I guess like my TBR will just be like, okay, these things I do absolutely need to get to. I want to get to the books for the Booker Prize, and I want to get to a few other things. Like I need to get to those, and I need to get to a few of those other things, and then I'll mention a few fantasies that ideally I would love to also be able to fit into the month of September. But like realistically speaking, is that going to be possible? No, probably not. Something is going to give. It's rained all day here. Yeah. Like, I mean, when I'm working, it's fine, but it depends how much because like our office has like a roof that like you can hear everything through because you know you have the roof, but then underneath the roofer, I think that like normally you have a little bit more like a little bit more insulation, I guess, or padding, whereas there's just like a sort of like um yeah, I cannot describe it, but there's a sort of material there that you normally don't have to finish off your roof because it's like ripped, like that. So normally you would have another roof underneath it, and some of our meeting rooms do have that. But so we don't in our part of the building. And so when it's raining, especially when it's raining super heavily, it just gets super super loud. And then we also have like a drain pipe which normally would be in a wall, I guess, but in this case, it's just like exposed. So you can hear the rain that is like draining down to the floor and like to the basements or wherever it drains off to. So like when it gets this rainy, it's like yeah, it's nice when it's just a little bit of rain, but at this point in time, it's just way too much noise. Have you watched the movie Da Vinci Code based on the Da Vinci Code? You mean based on Dan Brown's novel? I think I've seen it at some point in time. The Da Vinci Code is not my favorite Dan Brown book. My favorite Dan Brown book is actually the one that was turned into the movie Angels and Demons, but it has a different name, I think. Originally, that's one is my favorite one, I think. But um, I saw the movie The Da Vinci Code. It has my favorite actor, Tom Hanks, but it's not a memorable movie to me. So I don't actually remember whether I liked it as an adaptation, whether I watched it before or after. I don't actually even remember those type of details. Let's be fair, we didn't have a summer. We did have a summer. We had a summer, it happened in June. People keep telling me, like, we don't have a summer. So we did have one. The month of June was super warm, and I hated every minute of it. So we have been preparing for fall for a month already. Exactly. I'm normally not okay with it turning fall, but I bought hot chocolate so the fall can begin now. Yeah, exactly. Like we have indeed been prepared for over a month for this fall season. I am now totally happy to say goodbye to summer. It's happened. It's fine. And now I'm just like, yeah, bye. So I also I don't know on which Discord I shared that, but in Utrecht I bought like a pumpkin tea, and I really want to try it now, but I want it to be fall when I'm trying it. And now I'm just like, yeah, it's just like I need to have the comfort of the cozy sweater, cold weather outside, rain preferably, when like Gilmore Girls in the background, and then this lovely cup of tea. But at this point in time, it's still too warm inside my apartment to actually put on a sweater. My July reading was whoop, and my August has been back. Yeah, the magical readathon definitely helped to keep it like up. But to be fair, like a lot of it was like comics this month. So that's what kept those numbers up there. I'm dreading the wet British winter because I have to cycle for some of my work commute. Yeah, I don't know, because like currently I'm cycling every time that I go to work because of like the works. And now I'm like in a motivated place to keep on doing it because apparently the situation with the works isn't that bad anymore. So I could go back to taking the bus because I do still have a bus pass for like until November, I think. But currently I'm very motivated to keep going at this. But yeah, I am like I'm currently motivated. I'm hoping that stays like that. But once it really gets like cold and rainy, I'm not entirely sure how well I'm gonna keep up with that. I also appear to be drifting back towards music and gaming again, which I haven't done much of in the past year. This past year has been heavily book focused, but I may mix it up a bit more. Yeah, definitely. Like I feel like the month of August I've also not done a whole ton of other stuff, which isn't really the case. The first week of August when it was like Camp Enchanted, then I got to do quite some gaming, and I'm sad that I didn't like carry it on a little bit more into the rest of the year, months. Sure. But like it was spring with summer weather. That's not spring weather. The weather we had in June, or at least here in Belgium, was not spring weather, it was summer weather. So yeah, we had our summer. I loved The Symbol by Dan Brown. I didn't read that one. That's one of the other books, I guess, like not the or is it a Lost Symbol? I don't think it's one of the or is it that I already got rid of that book, I think. Um, is it one of the Robert Langdon books? Hello, welcome. Recently, I watched the movie Da Vinci Code, so difficult to understand, but I liked Angels and Demons and Inferno 2 are pretty good. Um, Inferno is the one set in Spain, right? I don't like that book all that much. I don't like a trope in there about like because I've forgotten quite a bit about it, so I'm not entirely sure anymore. But I think I don't really like the direction that book took and the sort of like end resolution of that. I know it was so cold here. I'm already wearing. I mean, outside I have this week transitioned into light sweaters. Um, but even like in the morning when I bicycle, I need like some sort of a sweater over it, but it's still a light sweater, so it's still like relatively like it's still 19 degrees somewhere throughout the day, not in the morning of course, but so yeah, I'm not really in that sweater weather yet. And then my apartment retains heat so well that it's still like 25 degrees in here probably. Angels and Demons in the book and the movie. The book is the first in the series, but they made it the second movie. But isn't it called differently in the book version? I feel like it's called differently, or maybe it's like called differently in Dutch. Is this like the Bernini one, like the Bernini mystery, or like Robert Langdon books? Yeah, don't give it to me in Dutch. It automatically Angels and Demons, but this is not. I feel like this is not the original title, right? Or am I so wrong about that? The Lost Symbol is maybe the Lost Symbol is my favorite. That's the third one apparently. Or is Angels and Demons? one of these books has a different movie title than it has a book title, but now I'm confused about which one it is because now it seems like they correspond to one another. This one of these books have a title change? This confuses me. I was really enjoying the hot weather this year and I'm dreading fall a bit, maybe because my two last falls kind of sucked. Ah, here's hoping for a better one this year. Or maybe indeed it was the fact that they changed the order, that I'm just mixing up what was wrong about this series. The gaming aspect is definitely coming from reading bookish folks I follow on Twitter talk about a certain couple of games. Aha, clearly easily led. I think we know that I'm led by BookTube. Yeah, play Baldur's Gate. That's what you're talking about here, right? It's a Belgian game, so you support Belgian gaming industry. The guest cat has just come in for attention. It announced itself and is now purring away around me. Lovely. I'm thankful for the summer that we did have. It could have been a lot worse. We got lucky here. I have to cycle, train, cycle, and if I don't cycle, I won't make it in time as there isn't a bus at one end of the journey. Keeping me fit. Exactly. Don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Denise. And the guest cat has wandered off. Yeah, they are fickle creatures. Guest cat is taken to coming to the door, announcing itself as it comes indoors. Oh, that's so cute. 25 degrees. Nice. But so, reading. See you guys in the next chatty bit after another 40-minute sprints. Hello, I was still doing my Duolingo. I'll try to still like finish my class just a little bit because um but I cannot do two things at the same time, please clearly. Okay, I can. Not really. I just paused my speech for like 2 whole minutes to be able to answer that question. But I am almost at the end of this lesson. Ba, 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 ba. Uh, every time I think it's like the final question, there's still one more question. So where were we? In America, it's the same title. Da Vinci Code is the second book, but the first movie. They changed the story a bit in order to do it, but I think they thought people would like it better. I'm pretty sure that maybe it's just the Dutch version that's just like different. Angels and Demons. Demons. Dutch title. Yeah, indeed. In Dutch, it's called like the Bernini Mystery. So it has a very completely different title than the movie ended up being. 9 minutes away from finishing Any Other City. Is that the title of the book? Did I know you were reading this? um, Good on that. Did you like it? 9% of them are in a great game. I just came indoors from the hammock moments ago, just as the timer ran out. Perfect timing. It was getting too dark to read anyway, and now I'm sad that hammock time is getting so short. Yeah, like I've been running before work throughout July and August, but like now, like this week, it was so difficult because it was dark when I woke up, and I was like, oh, I have to start running in the dark. And it was already kind of the case the past week, I guess. But it just like really dawned on me this week because then I had done like less, like I hadn't run on Monday because of walking 13.5 kilometers on Sunday. And so it felt like going back to running after a little bit of a break, even though it was just a break of like half a week, I guess. But yeah, then it just felt like extra hard to motivate myself to get back to it when it's like still dark out and you have to like get up in the dark, get dressed, and start running. But the nice thing about it then is that like the sun comes out while you're running, so that was nice. But I don't know how long I will be able to motivate myself to run in the mornings. I might have to switch to the afternoons. But then the issue is that I will have to go running right after work, or otherwise, if I make the mistake of sitting down, I'm not getting up again. I ate while watching a reaction video and then made dessert and tea. Dessert! Lovely. What did you have? Finished Denise's video and read 15 pages of Some Desperate Glory. I was it you? You've been reading this last week as well, right? So because I have it on my cart. I was kind of thinking like I want to do a sort of like catching up to my Illumicrate books video, but I actually only have two apparently that I would need to catch up to then. But yeah, I mean, I can still do it, of course. That just that makes it a feasible TBR, I guess, 2 books. But it's not happening in September, definitely, because I have too much stuff on my September TBR already. Washed my hair. I'm now 22% of the way into the Justice of Kings, and I'm 10 pages away from chapter 8. Do I remember correctly that the author of Richard Swan is himself a lawyer? No idea. I don't know whether I don't know the backstory behind this author. How do you find going out running in the dark in the mornings? That sounds hard and non-ideal. Yeah. I don't know. I assume you asked this before I had told you. But so yeah, like that's my experience. Like very difficult to get out of bed to do it right now, but it is definitely lovely to like watch the sun rise and have that like it's not like I'm actually seeing a sunrise, but to just like slowly have light creep into the world while I'm running, and to have that sort, like, always what I like about running in the morning is also that sense of like productivity of having like started your day with something like that. And of course it's also very much wakes me up. The only thing is then, like, I get back from the run, I take the shower, and then it's like, what, now I just immediately go to work? No, no, I need a little bit of a sit me down, I need a little bit of a cool down, let's say. So then it actually takes up more time before I go to work. Just heard a cat meow and had to look around my room to see if the guest cat was unexpectedly indoors. I think it was one of yours, though. That's the first for me, though. Was one of my cats meowing? Because I don't know where Buffy has gone to. She is not here at the moment. So it should have been Phaeton, who meows far less, but it is always possible. She's sitting like just off camera. Yeah, I was reading it last week. It's the first time I've picked it up since last week because I got distracted with another book. That definitely happens. Do you prefer to go out running with a friend as motivation? No. I'm the type of person who likes to do things on her own because I don't like to fail and have other people see me fail. So I once went running with one of my colleagues, but then he was like, I have to go even slower than this. I was like, yeah, I haven't run in like 3 years. Yes, you need to go that slow. So that was a no on the running together front. And I think I still run quite slowly. Like, I ran a little bit faster this time around. But then I also had more pain in the hip again. So we'll have to see. Like, because I thought the hip pain thing was over. Maybe it was just because I wasn't paying as much attention to like activating my core while running, because the core kind of has to take away the stress that is currently on the hip from time to time. But maybe it was that. Maybe it was just a question of like thinking it was over and thus paying less attention to running technique and thus having more pain in it. Or it could, of course, be the pace because, there was more impact as a result on the hip again. But so, yeah, we'll see. I'll go running tomorrow normally, though I still have to put my running clothes into the washer. And so hopefully they will be dry in time for tomorrow then. But yeah, I'll still go running tomorrow. But the nice thing about the weekend is then I can actually fuel up before, so I can have my oatmeal and then wait an hour and a half and go running then. Whereas in the week, because I do it before work, I don't have time to eat before it because you need to wait an hour and a half. I don't know the dessert's name in English. If you cook plums and add some sugar and then eat it warm. Oh, okay. Don't know that. I actually have plums. So you cook plums, you add sugar, and then eat it warm. Or you add sugar afterwards, or you add sugar into the water when you're cooking it, or you fry it, or you really boil it in water. I need recipes here. Though actually saying that, I don't actually like fruit that has been warm, but I like it for certain types of fruit. It's okay. It really depends on the consistency. I've never had warm plum, so maybe it could work. If I have time before work, I tend to do some garden jobs, a little bit of ongoing maintenance to keep the jobs light and easy. I'm hoping to be making apple and cinnamon muffins this weekend. The apple tree in my garden is starting to drop apples onto the ground, so it's time to use them up. Yeah, apple is one of those fruits that I cannot have warm. Once it's been warm, an apple is ruined for me. I will say the one time I made apple crumble myself, I actually did like it. That was the one time in which I was like, oh wait, I made something with warm apples and I actually liked it. Maybe things are changing, but I wouldn't go about like trying out applesauce anytime soon because that's the devil for me. Warm fruit. I recall the banana pudding discussions from a while back. Yeah, like banana bread is okay, but it's also just because it's smashed up. You smash the banana and then it gets warm, so it does nothing to the structure of the banana. Just add a little bit of water and let it simmer. Adding sugar at every point is fine. Also lovely with waffles or pancakes. Nice. Cooking challenge. Though I'm not entirely sure I'm ready yet to try warm plums. But I do have quite a few plums and I haven't ate a single one of them. When did I buy these? Last Saturday. I really should get started on eating some of those. So fussy. I'm really not that much of a fussy eater, but warm fruit, yeah, that's one that just stays with me. There are quite a few of like structural issues with food that I've gotten rid of over the years. I didn't used to like mushrooms, for example. I love mushrooms now. I'm quite open to trying anything, but I just know that warm fruit is not really a success for me. So then it just feels like a waste to like make something with warm fruit. However, of course, as I said, sometimes it's okay. Like citrusy fruit, when that has been warm, it's fine, doesn't change the structure or the texture is probably the correct word. I have to use up the strawberries in the freezer to make room for all the sweet peppers that are going to have to get frozen really soon. They are starting to ripe and I will have a glut. Like berries, I also do it with my oatmeal. I do cook the berries, but then it kind of becomes more like it kind of melts into sort of like sauce, and then it's also fine. See, there are more exceptions to this rule than than it is actually a rule. It's just that warm fruit typically tends to be an apple or a banana, and those, no, nope, cannot do. And like I tried it again at some point because I was like, hello, it smells delicious. Like an apple that is being fried in a pan has such a lovely smell. But no, I tried it again at some point and I was like, no, absolutely not. So I think maybe in the crumble it's just because it was like smaller cubes versus a full slice. I don't know. When the weather is fine outside, I find I don't want to spend time cooking in the kitchen. I'd rather be outdoors. I have a friend coming over to visit later this month, and I will be cooking something from the garden. I think it's going to be super fuzzy. Nuts? No. Spicy chili? No, etc. I love nuts. I love chili. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely be over, and I'm definitely not that fuzzy in that regards. Like, I'll give everything a go. Yes, just think of it as a plum sauce, and you can also let it cool down and eat it cold. Ah, okay, interesting. Then it might actually be something. I cube the apples in small chunks and they get added to the muffins. Yeah, but like I'm trying to think now because like in the apple cakes that I have had, like I do think that it's typically like a slice that they put in there rather than just a small cube. And the slice is definitely no, because apple cake, that's like the origin, I think, of my applesauce is probably the origin of my hatred for warm apples, which also completely um, contradicts my whole banana breads um, conjecture earlier, saying that if the banana is smashed up, the structure isn't like affected, and so that's why I do like banana bread and I don't like warm banana. So for apples, it would have to be the same, right? Applesauce would be fine because it's more or less mixed, though it's not really mixed, it's like chunky, right? So yeah, forget everything. I'm just very unclear about what type of warm fruits work and what type of warm fruits don't, but a lot of them don't. I love cooked fruit. I have some cooked plums in the freezer. I might defrost and add a crumble topping to this weekend. Oh, putting your plums in the freezer. Yeah, I almost never make crumble, but I really love it whenever I've had it, and it's actually not that difficult. So maybe I should also. It's also like super folly in my opinion. Like it's perfect time for it. It's becoming a challenge to cook for a visiting friend entirely from the garden, depending on what's ready at the time. Courgettes are nearly over, squash isn't quite there yet, for example. I mean, your aubergine is there. You like entirely from the garden, like every single ingredient needs to be from the garden, because then my next suggestion cannot be done. Because I was thinking of like melanzane parmigiano, which is an Italian dish, which is like um, aubergine, tomato, and mozzarella, which is absolutely amazing. But the mozzarella part, of course, you're not going to find in your garden. Sounds amazing indeed. I mean, I say that after the whole warm fruit debacle, but I for crumble I can see it. I just had that really good experience with that one crumble that I'm now like thinking that crumble is the solution to my warm fruits problem. I do that fruit crumble with the frozen fruits for blueberries and strawberries. I love crumble so much. Yeah, I have some blueberries as well, but not enough for a crumble. But I should really also eat those. But I always find like blue with the blueberries that they have so little taste that I just like add them to my oatmeal rather than like just munch on them like as I go. As I guess I do make that aubergine lasagna occasionally. I have enough tomatoes to make the sauce. Imagining a mozzarella tree now. Yes, that is how mozzarella is made. They just pluck it off the trees. Ah, imagine. I would love a mozzarella tree. You can make mozzarella by yourself quite easily. The milk would come from the cow in your garden. I don't know whether Tufty has a cow in his garden or from a farmer close by, so I think it counts. It takes some time, I assume, right? The mozzarella or not? I don't mind mixing in things that I can't make myself, like lemon juice or cheese, but I want the bulk of the meal to have food distance measured in meters rather than miles. Yeah, that is fun. Lemon juice. That reminds me, I bought like I don't know how long ago already at this point, I bought a bunch of lemons to make lemonade for myself. And then it just was this horrible weather the entire time. So I never made the lemonade. And now I'm just wondering what I'm going to do with these lemons. I could, of course, still make lemonade. It's not like, and this week is going to be better weather. So maybe it is actually the time to make the lemonades. But aside from that, I guess I could make like a lemon cake. Then I need to look up a recipe again, and I have too many lemons for a lemon cake. Like it's not gonna solve my lemon issue. I don't like the texture of blueberries, but I'll have them if they're cooked into something like like muffins. Yeah, the mozzarella is quite easy and fast. Okay. I have drained Greek yogurt through a mesh to make a sort of cheese. Add herbs from the garden and make little pots. Okay, that is nice. My sister did like a cheese making workshop once where she made I think she made like ricotta then. Actually I had a question like and it's only 2 minutes left now. I'm gonna ask this question, but I might take like a course throughout the year, and I think it's gonna take place on Thursday afternoon or like Thursday evening. So I would have to move my weekly sprints. Do you guys have a preference for when I should move them to? Like Tuesdays is off limits because that is when Barbora does her sprints. Wednesdays are, I think, off limits because that's when I tend to have Cody do her Patreon sprint. So I'm attending her Patreon sprints. But aside from that, everything would go, I guess. Though I guess Friday evening is also not ideal since I will be swimming normally. So normally I will be quite tired afterwards. Yeah, making cheese is fun. It takes time though. Yeah. I often make an aubergine curry, but I need more aubergine recipes in my arsenal. The aubergine lasagna takes too long as I need to salt out the moisture first, then fry the thin slices of aubergine. You can try like looking for Asian recipes for aubergine. There's a very nice Japanese aubergine recipe where you like you take like you carve the aubergine in half, then you put like you put like a grid in it, and then you put miso paste over it, and then that goes into the oven like that. That's really lovely. I like that recipe. But like the first time I found out that I love aubergine is in China when I had aubergine there almost every day because the aubergine from the wok is also very, very lovely. Just freeze lemon juice ice. Yeah, I don't have many ice cube trays and I don't have a very big freezer. As long as the time stays the same, I don't have a preference. Okay. Yeah, the time would stay the same. Like I cannot make it later, for example, because if I want to do 3 hours, I still have to be awake by the end of it. And like 10 o'clock is like somewhere. what do we call that? Like the the death limit. I can be sure that I'm still awake at 10, but afterwards there are no guarantees. I love an aubergine tomato peanut sauce. Sounds lovely. Like tomatoes, not my favorite, but there's so much you can do with it. And it's a lovely base. But peanuts and aubergines, they are like S tier. All right, let's go for our final sprints. I'm really enjoying my book, by the way, so I'm very happy that I chose this one as my first book for the Booker project because I am somewhat tentative about what my experience with all of these is going to be. So I'm happy to start off in a positive at least. So see you guys in 40. So, how did we all do? I am 98 pages into this. So, I read 78 pages during these sprints, which is okay considering I've been distracted at certain points in time. And the word cannibalism was just dropped. So, yeah, cannibalism does really connect all of the books that I read, apparently. But how did you all do? I also had to like step out for a little bit because I was hearing some noises, which sounded like drumming, and it was indeed drumming because today on the 1st of September it is always year markets here. So it means that like it is the start of our fair. So in the city of Leuven, there's a fair for like the entire month of September. So of course it starts on the 1st of September, and we always have like a year market in which there's like, yard sales and stuff like that. But also there are like places where people who own cattle and stuff like that will display their cows, sheep, and all those things. The previous apartment in which I lived was actually in the street in which the sheep were being displayed, and so it would always be like very rigorously cleaned once a year because after they have the animals there for display, then they like thoroughly clean the street. They go over it like 3 times or so after they've removed all the hay. So at least there I had a very clean street every once in the year. But so I guess this is for that event. I don't remember it being in this part of town in the past few years, but when I was picking up my package yesterday, I did see that they were building sort of like a little bit of an area where people could be seated and where there would be like a bar and a DJ thing and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that is also the music that I'm hearing now will probably be from there. 35 pages of the poet X. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I want to read more Elizabeth Acevedo, but I will probably like read her adult debut next. I had some chocolate and read the Twitters, and now here we are once again. Lovely. 35 pages that just made it to the start of part two. Yeah, this one is also divided in multiple parts, and I'm guessing they are like the different submarine missions that they go on. And so, yeah, I'm curious to see what will, like, how this is going to evolve, and how much of this is like really like true to the way that things are done now, because they are basically doing these deep sea explorations, and it's basically under the assignment of NASA because they're kind of developing technique or technology that then NASA intends to use when it's going into deep space. So it would be interesting to kind of know if that is indeed like it would make sense, I guess, because you have also that lack of gravity there, whether that is indeed like how things work in real life, whether NASA also does a lot of deep sea exploration in order to further its space programs. I was thinking about your query about alternative evenings, and while Friday isn't ideal for reasons you mentioned that I've now forgotten, it's quite nice and it's not a school night tonight. Yeah, I was thinking probably like a Monday or indeed a Friday. We'll see. The reason for the Friday was like that I go swimming on Friday, and so I might be too tired for it afterwards, but we'll see. I have no plans for this entire weekend. This isn't an unusual state of affairs for me, but I did my tidying and cleaning through the week rather than at the weekend because I had somebody in today. Nice. Yeah, I need to, like, after these sprints, I still need to make sure I feel like a load to do laundry while I'm sleeping, and then clean out the dishwasher and refill the dishwasher so that some more tidying can happen while I'm asleep. Less than 200, no, less than 100 pages left. That's nice. Might be able to finish it during the weekend then. I always tidy up before anybody, friend or professional, comes over, so that's unlocked the weekend. Yeah, I don't have people over very regularly, but when they do, that is indeed like the nice excuse to finally get my ass moving and finally get to cleaning. I did like like I got a new sort of like vacuum cleaner that immediately also like washes with wet, so that's how do you call that, mops the floor. And I did that last weekend. So my chairs are still on my table, and actually I might keep them there because that's like the one part that prevents me from cleaning more regularly on the floor is like the idea of cleaning that table so that the chairs can go on there. Love the Poet X. Ideally, I need to hit my books, my emphasis on the S hard this weekend, but I can't read all day. Yeah, I think I'll allow myself like quite some relaxation that is not books during this weekend. Allow myself to go easy on the books during the weekends. I have quite some things that I might want to go for the internet cables tomorrow. I've been meaning to go to one particular store because I have a sweater that I want to get. Need to go to the grocery store. And there was something else that I was gonna do as well tomorrow. And then running, of course, tomorrow. And then I need to do quite a lot of filming as well tomorrow, hopefully. And then on Sunday, I'm going over to my parents to have lunch there. I might actually do my running on Sunday rather because they have like a track that is made out of like wood chips. And so it's softer surface. So it might actually be nice to go over there, have my running gear with me, and then just like go running, take a shower, and then lunch over there. Oh, hey, new vacuum cleaner, buddy. Yeah, nice, Alex. So far, I really like it too, but I'm only 60 pages in. That might have been why I was looking at a new vacuum last Saturday because I knew I needed to get one. Yeah. I should still hit the hammock hard while we still have the nice weather. It's only going downhill from here. Yeah, this weekend is supposed to be very nice here, so I'm guessing it's somewhat similar in the UK as well. I think on Sunday we're supposed to hit 26 degrees again, for example. So that's definitely a big change of pace from what this week has been like. Because like my manager just came back from Mexico, and so she was like, "What's up with this weather?" Like I think her daughters, if her daughters were a little bit older, they would have probably been like, "Why did you decide to move to Belgium rather than us all be living here in Mexico?" But yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the weather this week. Like it going to be that nice while I'm so ready for it to be, like autumn. Plus September is like the time when I allow myself to start thinking of Christmas. I don't feel like I'm in that mood yet. It won't happen this early this time of year. Um, I haven't been feeling the Christmas moods, like the needs to stop myself from thinking of Christmas the way that I do in other years sometimes. So might be we might be on pace for the seasons the way that they are, but I still I'm ready for that transition into fall. I booked my Christmas holiday today. I'm aiming for another 4 weeks off in a row like last year, but I only booked the 3 weeks off in December. We'll sneak in the extra week later in the year and hope nobody notices. Yeah, I canceled my holidays in 2 weeks' time because of stuff at work. It's just not good timing for it, but I do still have 4 weeks that I need to take later on in the year then. So I have already like set aside 1 week for Christmas, like not a week not any week in the Christmas holidays, but a week before the Christmas holiday. Um, and so we'll see where I place the rest of my holidays for this year. But yeah, not anytime soon at the moment. I have a week to play with, and I am thinking of taking a week off to play Starfield. That was the video game I was hinting at earlier because Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't hit Xbox until later. Ah, okay. I kind of feel tempted to try this Baldur's Gate just because people are so obsessed with it, but I really feel like I should continue with Elden Ring before I'm allowed to, and maybe finish like something like Horizon or download the second Tomb Raider, which I also already bought previously, to ensure that I get some of my actual games out of the way first. I admit admit I'm quite envious of the days off you get. Well, yeah, we get 12 extra days for also doing more hours in the day than like the standard is for that particular job. Right then, that's it. Game over. Night night, y'all. Yeah. See you. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend, and we will talk next week. It should be on the Thursday again, as regularly scheduled, but I still need to actually schedule it. So I will get on to that somewhere later. But thank you guys for being here with me, and as said, enjoy your weekends. Bye.